If you guys enjoy what I do, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel and it's free and easy to do. Welcome to my channel where we cover the lore of Final Fantasy XIV. We cover the stories both big and small, the epic and the cute, the silly and the tragic. I hope you all enjoy the ride, and welcome to the Chronicler of Lore. Chasing after the Garleans, the Warrior of Light, Unikali, and the others head back to Azers Law as fast as they can. The Etherochemical Research Facility holds a lot of very dangerous Allegan technology, so Urianger had put a barrier around the place, one that shouldn't have been easy to breach, especially for Garleans who have no magical abilities. It should have been all but impossible for the 6th Legion to break through it, but figuring out how they did it will have to wait for another day. According to Unikali, there's a formula hidden inside of the facility called the Genesis expression that apparently can create something out of nothing. Y'shtola's never heard of it, but apparently Unikali's mysterious master knows about it, and somehow the 6th Legion does too. That's bad, but Unikali thinks this makes for a good opportunity. Since you know the exact spot that Regula is heading to, you all can ambush him and take out the leader of an entire legion. He seems more focused on that than keeping the Genesis expression safe. Kral and Y'shtola think that's the more important thing to focus on, and Urianger is fine with whatever they want to do because he's still trying to figure out how the Garleans got through his barrier. The barrier was a concoction of the students of Baldesion, and it would have taken the most skilled of mages days to break through. Getting through it in a few hours like that would have taken a supernatural ability on par with the Echo. Either way, you can't stand around worrying about it, so you all head into the facility. Regula didn't come alone, and as you chase him, Kral is injured by some Garlean tech, and Unikali stays behind to keep her safe. Eventually, Urianger and Y'shtola have to break off from you to hold off the enemy, while you go on to have a rematch with Regula Van Hydrus. The Legatus is strong, but you beat him because he's not main character strong. He decides it'll be a good idea to leave once Y'shtola shows up, but Kral and Unikali block his path. Injured or not, he could kill Kral, but with him surrounded, he'd definitely die too. The man can't understand why you all fight against the Emperor when having a means to control icons would make the world a better place, but even if by some chance the Emperor was a noble man, someone having that kind of power would eventually corrupt either him or one of his followers who sought to rule. One man shouldn't control the fate of the entire world, especially not a man that Unikali calls a warmongering savage, which nearly makes Regula decide to kill the boy regardless of what happens to him. But dying there wouldn't serve the Empire, so he uses a flash grenade and escapes. While Kral is happy that she's not dead, she's still pretty badly hurt from earlier, and if it hadn't been for Unikali fighting to protect her, she'd be very, very dead. Getting praise from the Scions makes the boy a bit uncomfortable. Apparently he's not used to people saying nice things about him, which is kinda sad for someone so young. Everyone should hear some kind words about themselves every once in a while. Even though Regula fled, he'll definitely be back since the thing he wants is so close, so Y'shtola, Kral, and Urianger get to work putting a stronger barrier around the device, while you and Unikali head back outside, after Kral makes the boy even more uncomfortable by thanking him again. Urianger follows you because he wants to ask Unikali a question without Kral and Y'shtola around, namely why the boy took down his barrier and invited the 6th Legion in to try and get the Scions to kill Regula Van Hydrus. The plan was clearly something that the boy's master came up with, but he carried it out for the sole purpose of killing the man. Unikali tries to deny it, but the fact that he and Regula both knew about the Genesis expression, something that Kral had never even heard of before, was very suspicious, and there was no way that Regula could have disabled Urianger's barrier, which means it had to be Unikali. The boy still doesn't outright admit it. Talking to him is like talking to a lawyer, but he does say, if I had hypothetically done what you said, what would you do about it? Urianger doesn't have an issue with his goal, it's the trying to manipulate them part that he has a problem with. It's not like you're all friends with Garlemald. If he had told you the plan, it probably would have gone off more smoothly without Kral getting hurt in the process. Unikali was using the most dangerous thing in the Allegan ruins as bait, which Urianger says that none of them would have done because it was stupid. But a better plan could have been made, one where he didn't use his allies as unknowing pawns. He claims the fate of the world shouldn't be in the hands of one person, then he tries to put it all into his own. If he keeps that up, Urianger is positive that it'll all end badly. After all of that said, the boy finally admits that he had set the whole thing up, and he apologizes. Urianger wants you to forgive him and to keep it secret from Kryle. The two are starting to get along, but Kryle wouldn't take too kindly to being manipulated. She also doesn't like being left to do work while her assistant goes to talk, and she shows up to tell Urianger that his unscheduled break from helping put the wards up really ticked Y'shtola off. Not wanting to survive fighting the Empire to only get killed by Y'shtola, he runs off to help her while you and Unukalai head back to the Rising Stones. He apologizes again for lying to you, and he decides to repay you by telling you something that you should already know. He has the Echo, and he'll use it to protect the star from what he knows is the greatest threat out there, technology that's used for harnessing the power of primals. He knows this for a fact because of what happened on another world where the champions used aura sight to contain the power of primals. They used the aura sight to defeat god after god, but they didn't realize that the aura sight was slowly leaking primal energy. With every god they killed, they changed, turning into monsters that fed on ether. Eventually they went to war over the star's remaining life force, and they fought until there was nothing left. Seeing other people so eager to harness primal powers makes Unukalai reckless in his attempts to stop them because he knows the end result. His master feels the same way, and he sent Unukalai to make sure that the fate of that other star isn't shared by this one, and if it's going to be saved, you need to deal with the next member of the Triad. After the fight with Regula, Y'shtola sensed unstable ether coming from the section of the prison that held Sophia, the goddess, meaning she's about to wake up, so it's back to Azers Law you go. When you get there, Kryle comes running up to the two of you, telling you that Y'shtola and Urianger are under attack. You run off to join them thinking you're about to have to fight Garleans again, but the two Scions are fighting a guy who's wearing Dunmer armor from the Elder Scrolls series and thinks you've been recruited by the Allagans. He's not alone. He has two friends with him who claim that he stalled you all for long enough before they teleport away, but not before quoting a strange prophecy. With scales in hand, the goddess shall arise and righteously cast off her cursed power, that she with wrathful Worm King at her side might judge and thence bring balance unto all. Then the guy says the goddess is awake and you Allagans are done for before he leaves too. Y'shtola and Urianger have no idea what they were saying. The attackers spoke in an old Mericidian language, but one of the perks of the Echo allows you to understand most languages, so it was all gibberish to anyone but you, Kryle, and Unukalai. The fact that they thought you were Allagans and claimed their goddess is awake means they're probably thralls of the icon that you came to deal with, and they were likely trapped during Mericidia's war with Allag. That's bad because Sephiroth was strong when he was barely awake. If Sophia's had time to get back up to full strength, you're gonna get wrecked, so there's no time to waste. The Warrior of Light, Kryle, and Unukalai head off to face the goddess, while Urianger and Y'shtola deal with any of her servants that break free. While you face down the scantily clad obsidian-skinned goddess, those same three servants of hers show up and force you to deal with them as well. I want to point out that from a lore perspective, these are not fights that the Warrior of Light is doing alone. Kryle points out on multiple occasions that you and your Echo-protected friends are fighting the Triad. While the Warrior of Light is stronger than most, the Triad are as close to full-powered primals as you've ever faced, putting them in the realm of power with things like the First Brood. One-on-one, the Warrior of Light would have died, at least at this point in the story. With the fall of Sophia, you head back outside to meet up with the others. All has been taken care of, but Y'shtola still doesn't know how Sophia's servants managed to wake up. Apparently Kryle and Unukalai saw the remains of a Garlean soldier near the containment facility. Seems like he'd gotten too close to the Icon when the Garleans had stormed the place and she had tempered him. Even unconscious, the Icon had been able to take control of someone and used him to free her servants, and if it hadn't been for you, they would have freed her. But it's still a mystery as to why Sophia was able to give her pet the knowledge needed to operate the facility. Unukalai and Kryle have an answer for that too. There was a flaw built into one of the machines that held the goddess, a flaw that had been built in on purpose. When the third astral era was winding down and the Mericidians were nearly wiped out by the Allagans, Sophia had come up with a plan. She had her oracle work with some rebels in Allag, who she had sabotaged the prison they had been building for her. Then the goddess and her thralls let themselves get captured. Her prison was at the heart of Allag, where she had planned for the rebels to release her so she could attack from the center of the city. It was a good plan, but the rebels got caught and executed before they could carry it out. However, the Allagans never discovered the flaw in the prison. Kryle wonders if the plan had succeeded, would the Mericidians have won the war instead of the Allagans? And if that prophecy was to be believed, it was likely. Bahamut, the primal version, was a prisoner at the time, and if Sophia had freed him, the battle definitely could have gone differently. Granted, they would have likely destroyed everything else since Bahamut was a savage beast, but the Mericidians probably didn't care since their home was already on the brink of destruction. The moral of the story is, don't try to enslave primals, because once you grab a lion, it's very hard to hold on to, but even harder to safely let go. As you all get ready to head back to the Rising Stones, Unokalai stays behind and turns off the life support systems so all of Sophia's remaining thralls die. When you all get back, Y'shtola confronts Unokalai because she had ran a final check on Sophia's prison and realized that all of her thralls were dead. She wants to know if he did it. He admits that he did because the Allagans had a bigger plan for the prisoners. The Triad's prison was a prototype for Dalamud and was meant to be a tool that could be used to start calamities on specific targets. Unokalai took it upon himself to kill the thralls and destroy the means of resummoning Sophia because he didn't think you'd do it. The fact that he doesn't think that the Scions are fully prepared to kill those who've been tempered to keep the world safe is insulting to Y'shtola when every one of you committed to doing what was necessary to protect Eorzea from the minute you joined the group. He apologizes for the insult, which is good because Y'shtola looked like she was on the verge of spanking him. With that settled, she had something else on her mind. It was unlikely that the Garlean Sophia had tempered had wandered off from Regular on accident. People claim that the 6th Legion is full of agents who want to sabotage anything Regular tries to do. The man earned his title through skill and hard work, and he's extremely loyal to the Emperor for praising him for it. A lot of the other higher-ranking Imperials got their position by birthright, and they don't think the man belongs among their ranks. That actually makes the 6th Legion even more dangerous, because in sabotaging Regular, they could cause the last member of the Triad, Zervan, to be released, which means it's time for you to deal with the icon known as the Demon. And that's where we're going to stop for today. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe, ding that notification bell, join the Discord, and if you really want to show your support, you can donate to the channel through the link in the description. Until next time, guys, later.